watch live if you like at AlanCoxShow.com. Bridget Linton from your Cleveland Browns is in again today. She's Bridget_Linton8 on Instagram if you want to go find her there. And be nice.
Yeah.
That's not her saying that. That's me saying that.
Thank you for saying that.
I mean, come on.
I know. So I give out, people are typically nicer on Instagram than Twitter. Twitter, it's at Bridget_Linton. No 8. I was able to get my own name on
Twitter's
Twitter.
a swamp.
But Twitter is where people, or whatever it's called now, X, that's where people are more mean.
Yeah.
Instagram, they're usually okay. Oh, I just avoid the message request section because that's usually where the haters go. Yeah, we don't need to read those.
Well, and I always forget that Instagram is Facebook.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that get posted to both if you have it set up that way.
Right.
And there's a ton of... Facebook just isn't really on my radar. I'm on it for the show. I'm on it for the metal show on Saturday night, things like that, right? I probably should check it all the time, but I don't. I check it maybe a couple of times a week. I should be more diligent on Facebook professionally because it is still a massive, massive platform.
Or maybe you shouldn't because maybe there's a lot of haters on there.
Well, there are, but it's like, whatever.
But
that just comes with it.
I mean, that's
I
just
don't
part
care.
of it. Yeah, that's not...
But it is, and I'm not the first one to point this out. A lot of listeners have too, that Poundcake remains a sweet little enigma because he can be so sanguine about the people who are terrible to him on social media, but he's so worried about what the parking attendants think of his music.
I didn't want them to be my friend or anything. I just wanted the nod of approval. That's
the
all.
nod of approval.
Yeah.
The
nod.
nod.
I give you the nod of approval.
Thank you.
Nod of approval.
Listen, if you were driving by and you were bumping Akon, I would give you that nod. Like, okay.
Hey, you know, or like you're walking down the street looking at your phone and then I drive past, you're like, oh, hey, you do one of these?
Yeah. I can't see you, but I'm imagining.
Yeah, you just get up and just start dancing to as I drive by.
You can figure it out.
And I would. Yep, I would do that for you.
Alan, isn't it almost time for Wawa to drop the gobbler?
Oh, yeah.
Wawa did drop the gobbler.
Oh, Wawa dropped the gobbler?
They dropped the gobbler.
Where's Joe from Philly? We haven't heard from him.
No, we haven't. He's probably busy. He probably had another kid.
Every once in a while, he'll hit me up on Instagram, but I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, no. They dropped the gobbler at Wawa. If you are one of our East Coast listeners, Philly, Jersey, I mean, you know about Wawa. You know Wawa?
I don't know Wawa.
The gobbler is this just massively popular hot turkey sandwich.
It's like their Thanksgiving sandwich.
Yes, it has like cranberries on it and great. I mean, the thing.
Gecko has a version of it.
Do they?
They
So
do.
it's like all Thanksgiving food in a sandwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get down
Which
with that.
normally is not something I would even touch with a 10-foot pole, but they're so good. The gobbler
Are
is
you one of
legit.
those people that has to have all your food separated on your plate?
No, I'm not psychotic about it. It's just there's a lot of very popular kinds of food that I just don't care for. I don't like rich, thick. I don't like creams and butters and things like that. You know, I don't like that stuff.
I'm jealous. I wish I didn't like those things.
I know, right?
But the gobbler's delightful.
So the Get-Go version's called the Pilgrim.
Okay.
And it's a very similar sandwich.
Well, maybe I'll try that.
I think
Where can you get the Wawa?
Wawa's
Wawa's
the
like
chain. It's like Philly, Jersey, New
Yeah,
York.
okay.
Yeah, it's more East Coast. I don't even think we even had them in Pittsburgh. We had Sheetz in Pittsburgh, but
Sheetz is good.
I think Wawa's probably start in Philly. Maybe Central PA. I don't know.
I wonder
But
if Sheetz has a Thanksgiving sub.
They should get one.
is it Pilgrim or O Pilgrim?
The Pilgrim's got cranberry sauce and cheese and turkey and but it's
got
got
some.
like a thinner turkey, and I think for these it should be that thick roasted turkey. Like it's leftover turkey. Like that's should be.
Whoever does the social media for Get-Go, they've got some wild posts. You know how now everybody, like companies now, are trying to be like pretty cool and hip on social media?
Yes.
And some of them have nailed it. Like Wendy's really kind of set the bar pretty high.
Yeah.
And there's some other brands that are real sharp on social media. But whoever's doing Get-Go's, they got some.
Steakums was doing like philosophy on theirs.
What's Get-Go doing?
Okay, so Get-Go posted something on Twitter yesterday, because they have tater tots. You know, you can go in there and they have the hot food and things like that.
Yeah.
Their post is a total simp for some tots. Which, like, if
I
you're
love
not
that.
down with, like, online speak, you know, that might just go right past you. But otherwise, that's pretty wild.
They're really trying hard to stay hip. with that one.
Yeah.
That's so funny, though.
I was simp for
Total
tots.
simp.
I love it. It got 2 likes.
It's gonna get,
So-
now it's got 3.
Yeah. Get a
right.
lot more. Getting 1 from me.
Total simp for tots.
I'll tell you what, every day I go, it's time to get off Twitter. Who cares? It's time to get off. And then I see a simp for tots and I'm back
You're
in.
back in.
Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in like Pacino.
I feel that way about Twitter every day because then you see and I love watching other people fight on Twitter. I'll catch myself going down a rabbit hole of a random thread of people arguing about the dumbest thing.
Right.
And I'm getting pure entertainment out of it. I'm like, I know I just wasted 10 minutes of my life, but now I can never delete this app because I enjoyed that drama of that thread so much.
You got a little dopamine hit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Speaking of Al Pacino, did you see the child support arrangement for Al Pacino?
I saw it.
These
No.
poor, and he's still with the woman. So he's got a couple of grown kids. He was with Beverly D'Angelo way back in the day, the mom from the Vacation movies with Chevy Chase.
Great boobs.
Great boobs. They had a
Did she
couple.
have a dump truck though?
Not really. That
No.
was a time of flat asses.
It was a different time. It was the 80s.
It's really hard to have both.
Yeah.
Some people have managed to do it, but I mean, Beverly
it
D'Angelo.
wasn't as much a focus back then as, it was like a okay, but it was more, I mean, you look at a white girl's ass in the 70s and early 80s, it is pretty flat.
It was the age of being topless in cinema. They didn't care about anything south of the border, right?
Okay.
So anyway, he had a couple of kids with Beverly D'Angelo for a long time. I don't think Al Pacino's ever been married, but he has these grown kids, and he just knocked up, he and De Niro both knocked up these younger girls. These girls got that good boy. There's no substitute for younger women when you're that age. There's just no substitute. Even if you're Al Pacino, who's 83 years old, you go, well, here's this young girl who wants, she'll let me leave it in or whatever.
We have so much in common.
So,
She's got an old soul.
well, they're still together. Her name is Noor Al-Fala. She's 29,
Oh my God.
and they've had their
That's only 8 years older than Bridget.
Yeah, I know. Crazy.
Oh, wow, good for you. So anyway, this was when he ordered a paternity test. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting played. It was his kid. He wanted to make sure, he didn't know if the mayo was still fresh.
Yeah.
So they're still together, but they worked out some custody agreement. He's got to pay her. This guy's going to be making a lot of bad movies. He's going to pay her $30,000 a month in child support.
But they're
Now-
still together. Why is he paying her money? if
Well,
they're-
that's what some people are kind of unclear about. They're going to share legal custody, and maybe it's a PR move at this point, that they're
Right.
together or whatever. But now I'm sure he has a lot of money, so it's not contingent on him still making movies. And I think the last few movies he's made weren't awesome, but he's an actor, likes to work. They can't all be Jack and Jill. And so he has to pay her $30,000 a month in child support. Well, he gives her $110,000 up front. Writes her a check for $110,000. $30,000 a month in child support. Kid's a brand new kid, so he's got this for the next, he's going to be dead. They're going to be dealing with his estate by the time this. He also has to put $15,000 a year in an education fund. That's not a lot of money for an education fund.
But $15,000 a year for 18 years.
Yeah, it'll. Who know? At that point, college will be a chip in your brain. And depending on the money he makes, he might owe her another $90,000 at the end of each year, right? So this is all the stuff he's got to put in for health insurance, things like that. But that just it underscores how even well-known actors, because you figure a performer or an actor, even of that caliber, you're insecure about a lot of things. You're 83.
Mm-hmm.
You're not what you used to be. Here comes this 29-year-old woman. You know what she's really in for, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know she's going to let you leave it in because she
wants that money.
Yeah. De Niro just had a kid. And so these guys are like, yeah, that's how good it is. You just can't get around it.
You want Wawa to drop the gobbler.
Well, Wawa dropped the gobbler right on Al Pacino's crotch. And it worked.
And if that's what he's okay with,
Yes.
as long as he's got the hot young
Yep.
babe, then good for him. If he's like, hey, I have the money and I know that's what you're after, as long as I have you, okay.
I think it would be, I'll tell you what, though, at 83, I'm 52 years old. I was 45 when my daughter was born. I have a 19-year-old daughter. I have a 20, almost in a month, my son will be 23. And I have a 7-year-old now. She'll be 8 in February. And I am constantly terrified of thoughts of dying before I get like a really good chunk of my 7-year-old's life out of the way. These guys are like 83 and have a kid. It's like not even in their brain that they're going to see this kid even graduate like middle school or whatever.
Like that's an old grandpa.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And he's like just now. Is that his only kid or do he have?
No, he's got like 2 grown kids. He's got like 2 like 55-year-old kids.
Oh, that's like crazy.
Something like that.
And then you got when you're 55, you're like, yeah, I got a baby sister.
Or you think about like your inheritance, like you're like, oh yeah, when this old man dies, me and my brother split it.
Always the inheritance, right to the inheritance.
I mean, they're thinking it. Why can't I think it if I'm the?
Because you're not related to Al Pacino.
I'm saying if I was in this instance, there's some chick that just comes in and you're like, got to make sure her tubes are tied because she's not getting any of my inheritance. That's what I would think about.
And yeah, his older kids are probably thinking, now we have to share it with this 2-year-old?
I was like, yeah, 50-50 is easy. Now you got to do it, what, 35?
Listen, if you're 55 and you're waiting for your dad to die to get the inheritance, like a
lot of Hollywood dads aren't even present, so who cares?
The Google machine will tell you that Al Pacino has a net worth of $120 million.
Pretty
so
good.
this is not any money to him, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And he
right
can
there.
keep farting out crappy movies and making all these payments off of that. Or he can do another Amazon Prime series or whatever. Like
I'm making Serpico 2.
Is the 29-year-old, is she approachable hot or unapproachable hot? Do you see a photo of her?
Yeah.
Approachable? Seems like it.
I guess.
Based on your response, she's very
I mean, if I
approachable.
were 83, I'd go, yeah. I mean, yeah. She's like Jordanian or something, that goes a long way. That's a good start. It's foxy. But yeah, he's got...
he doesn't look approachable alive.
I'm going to Google this myself.
Yeah, he's 83 years old.
Yeah. The pictures that I've found where he's just kind of like lurched over like, that's my girlfriend. She looks great. She's pretty.
So the last movie he made is called Knox Goes Away. That was a Michael... Oh, that's like out now. That's the one where Michael Keaton is the hitman. And then he's got a movie coming out next year. So, like, the guy works. Still works.
Well, there's still the strike going on, too. So even if he wanted to work,
he was in House of
right now.
Gucci, which I still haven't gotten around to seeing.
Don't worry about it.
I watched
Did
it.
it suck?
I mean, it's
It's very long for no reason.
I was going to watch it on the way back from Arizona.
I didn't know the story, so I was intrigued by the story, but like the acting isn't the best, and like Poundcake said, like you get some over the top performances. Like I actually liked the movie. A lot of people didn't, but
all the action happens in the last half hour of the movie. Like they could have made it 90 minutes. It did not have to be 3 hours.
they had to set it all up, and
They didn't.
Well, because I remember we had Jared Leto on to talk about House of Gucci.
I love Jared Leto's performance in this because it's so over the top, and he's so.
Well, that's what I heard, and like he was so proud of it. And
I thought
he's
it's
like,
hilarious.
"It's me, Mario." You know, that kind of vibe.
I'm from Gucci.
So now I want to see it. I keep forgetting about it.
I feel like I did see it when it was in theaters, but I forget about it. Like I forget how I felt. So if it's not memorable, probably wasn't that great.
Hey, Gaylord.
Hello, Mr. Cox. Hello, Mr. Squire.
What's up,
and
birthday boy?
Oh, thank you.
Your daughter called.
Miss Bridget.
Oh, hello. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you, Miss. I appreciate it very much. And Mr. Cox, I want to thank you for all of you wishing me happy birthday. That meant the world to me. And I want to thank my daughter for calling in. That was a wonderful gift.
She said she probably won't see you until she said she probably won't see you until this weekend.
I don't know what my wife has planned. It could be the weekend. She works on, today on Friday. And we may have something going on. I'm not aware of it. So,
will you have a cake with a 69 candle on it, like the 6 and the 9 number candles?
I don't know. Maybe my wife will put 100 on there.
Are you gonna 69 with your wife tonight?
Oh Lord!
Oh, Gaylord. This guy, he's been around the block a couple of times. He
It
knows.
seems like a good way to celebrate.
I know. All right, well, have a good birthday, Gaylord, okay?
I love you all. Thank you for being here. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, there's Gaylord, who's 69 today.
Bridget knows what that is, apparently.
Bill,
What? I said you did.
It's the number between 68 and 70. Of course
Yeah.
she knows. Like since kindergarten, Bill. Alan, this is why Al Pacino left it in.
got a great ass. And you got your head all the way up it.
Right, I forgot about that. That's precisely why. She got a great ass. Yeah, he's 83. She's 29. Good grief.
that is
Great ass.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take a break here. I will have the last pair of passes for you if you want to check out that Mummies exhibition. It's going to come through Cleveland. It's going to post up at the new corner gallery there at Playhouse Square. It's called Mummies of the World. And so if that